To emoji or not to emoji, that is the question. Did you know that today over 70% of communication is done virtually? We send around 306 billion emails every day. According to the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, 50% of the time, the tone and message of these emails gets misread. 50%. So we send 306 billion emails every day, and 50% of those emails and messages gets misread. That is a lot of miscommunication when you really think about it. Imagine the amount of fallouts and wrong business decisions. Daniel Goleman, a psychologist and science journalist, was the first person to popularize a term, emotional intelligence, in 1990. This now seems to be used a lot as a buzzword, and many organizations these days offer training and modules around emotional intelligence. In simple terms, emotional intelligence is our ability to read people's signals, body language, and respond to them appropriately while appreciating other people's perspectives and views. So in this day and age where we communicate through all sorts of digital channels, even a number of phone calls is getting reduced. It's now more than ever important to start developing our digital body language skills. All credit really goes to Erica Dhawan. She wrote this fantastic book on digital body language, how to build trust and connection no matter the distance. I think this is a fantastic book for all of us to read. It's a great present to buy to young graduates, school leavers, anyone who is embarking on working world. But in general, even if you are a professional who has lots of work experience and lots of views around digital communication, I think that this book will really help you understand and be up to date as to where we are with latest communication channels and digital communication skills. Erica in her book shares lots of data, stats, researches, interesting cases. I've absolutely enjoyed reading this book. I tend to use it and refer to it quite a lot, to be honest. And more recently, I have started to share it with people who I mentor. It's a great tool to really help you understand how to start developing some of these skills for yourself. We all know that schools, colleges, universities don't have a subject or a module properly dedicated to this. So grab yourself a copy of this book and let's get started. Our digital communication style relies more than ever on how we say it rather than what we say. Erica defines this as our digital body language. When internet came along, no one was really given any training on it. People simply embraced it, went along with it, started using it, made lots of mistakes, hopefully learned something from those mistakes that potentially had some consequences on their personal and business lives. Text, emails, and instant messages and video calls are visual forms of communication, and we all behave differently when we use these tools. This can generate certain feedback by others as to how we come across, and will have an impact and define our own personal brand by default, sometimes without even realizing the impact we make on ourselves and others. If we are really mindful as to how we come across in person, it is just as important to think about this, how we behave online through digital channels as well. This book will certainly help you manage your behavior and help you develop your digital body language. I will embark on a mini series because one video certainly will not do enough justice when it comes to this subject. Today, about 1/3 of young professionals have no issues with using emojis and use it actively to communicate with colleagues, managers, and even senior people. More than 60% of users over 35 and older describe themselves as frequent emoji users. Emojis may not be suitable for formal communication with all customers and clients, subject to your industries, but they are here to stay. In 2015, the Oxford English Dictionary revealed its word of the year, face with tears of joy emoji. This, of course, received lots of mixed feedback and reviews. Some said that was not relevant to the English language and certainly should not be used in an English dictionary. Others have welcomed it and certainly were of the view that this was a way into creating a more universal language. Emojis are here to stay and certainly should be understood and embraced. I personally see them as an opportunity to enhance our message and how we deliver it and use it in combination with words. They can really be a very engaging and powerful tool. Humans send 6 billion emojis every day, with the average person sending 96 emojis over a normal 24-hour period. Linguistics and academia have started to take notice. Susan Herring, a professor of information science and linguistics at Indiana University, said that we are in a phase of language development. We seem to use more and more GIFs, stickers, emojis, memes into our daily languages. I would like to mention 2 interesting cases that I think not many are aware of. Certainly I wasn't until I read Erica's book. In 2015, Chevy used it to announce the launch of their new car. Whilst this was clearly a gimmick and announcement that attracted some interest, it clearly demonstrates as to how emojis are more or less used as a universal language these days. Another interesting case that I would like to mention is a court case in Israel where a judge ruled that emojis can prove intent in court. In a nutshell, an Israeli landlord, Yaniv Dahan, advertised that he was renting his property. 2 prospective renters came along and he was convinced that he had found the ideal tenants. The couple used in their text a smiley face, a bottle of champagne, a couple waltzing, and Dahan took his apartment off the market and waited for the couple to sign the lease. Unfortunately, they ghosted him and they never signed a lease. He then decided to take them to court and sue them for damages. The judge didn't say that the emoji equal to a binding agreement, but he did award the landlord $2,200. You can read a lot more detail on this website. It's really an interesting case. Whilst I'm not sure that this would happen in the USA, the UK, the rest of Europe, you simply never know. I would ask you to be a bit careful when it comes to using emojis in serious business transactions, contract piece, lease, because you simply don't want to confuse anyone and you just want to stick to words, making sure that you are clearly committing or not committing to a deal or a contract. If some of these situations are, for example, between employees and employers, and if it does go to a court where we get a judgment, those then go back to organizations to look to implement and incorporate them into their policies and procedures. I would now like to just summarize this video in key messages for you to hopefully take something from this video, and let me know if you have any questions at the end. Number 1, don't stereotype. It is not just young people that use emojis. Many generations and age group use it. If you're not sure how to use emojis and communicate effectively across generations, I would simply suggest that you ask directly your colleagues, your managers, your leaders, customers, anyone you work with about their preferred communication and writing style. A simple conversation can prevent and solve many misunderstandings and us overthinking about it. Always tailor it to your audience. Before you press send, always double check that by you using emojis and certain tone and language is going to deliver your intent. If you're not sure, consult with your colleagues or managers before you send it. Be careful with different symbols and emojis as they can mean different things in each country. I would also encourage you not to overuse emojis. A balance is needed. While some avid users may love it, the other person may feel you're simply not serious enough about what they are trying to say. You may be thinking you are being efficient and effective by quickly responding and acknowledging their message, but the other person may think you're simply not interested and even being sarcastic. If you join a new organization, ask about the use of emojis and if there are any social media policies you need to read about. I think that emojis are a great tool, fun tools to be used where we can express ourselves and use them to enhance our message and our words, and they are here simply to stay. Let me know in comments as to how you find using emojis. Do you like them or not like them? Do you use them at work or business world? Any interesting examples you have come across or been subject to? I really would like to learn a bit more about it. It's a really interesting topic to talk about. That's it for this video and see you in the next one. Bye for now.